Hi everyone, my name's Adriana Giuliano, also known as Iggy, preferred to go by Iggy. I work here at Ulta West Melbourne, and this is my design team audition of 2019. This is my client here, Colleen, and she is coming in for her routinely balayage touch-up. She's been taking really good care of her hair and all the product recommendations we have given her in the past appointments. And so recently, my lovely guest here had gotten on a pink kick and decided to go over her original more ashy tone balayage with a little bit of a pink coral melt, and it looks phenomenal on her. So we're just going to end up enhancing her today and bringing up this little bit of demarcation we're getting from her original grow out. I'm going to tilt your head a little bit. And just help kind of enhance this gorgeous pink tone that she is rocking. She also works as a esthetician in a different location out here in Melbourne, Florida. So she likes to wear her hair halfway up, and we started to notice that a lot of her lightness comes up through the crown area, but not so much in her back parietal ridge to her occipital area. So today we're just gonna touch all of that up and bring some more of that lovely pink tone. She also is a lot lighter on her ends. They are a touch fragile, so we're not going to oversaturate them, finding that it's not necessary, and lighten up some more of these tones up into the darker areas. So I'm gonna use what we have here is our Wella Blondor Free Lights. It is a clay-based lightener, and it is a 50-minute processing time. It's gonna help with encasing that moisture that she's going to need for just a slow, soft lift. She doesn't need a lot of lifting. It does go up 7 levels, but we will be kind of working more around a natural level 7 undertone to work with. What her inspiration is we're gonna do a little more of a coral pink, and we're gonna enhance the orange undertone that comes out at her usual level 7. Taking fine, clean sections is always best practice when it comes to your balayage techniques or any type of lightening service. We originally pre-arted Colleen here, and we clarified and treated her. We did a pre-art treatment on wet sprayed down here, not necessarily fully dry. Put her under the dryer for about 10 minutes for the treatment, and then hair cleansing cream and a second hair cleansing cream wash. Fully blow dried and flat ironed so that we could really identify what areas are going to need more of the lightness and more of the technique. So we are going to start in her back area so that the lightener can take its time to lift in more resistant areas and kind of more of those areas that we're looking for. Traditionally, I like to start lifting in the front and then moving towards the back of the hair, because lighter and brighter in the front, that's where most of your guests want to see that transition of lightness. But since we have a little bit more troubleshoot areas and less lightness in the back where she puts her hair halfway up, that's where we're going to begin, and just to prevent any type of fragile areas that could be in the front from her previous lightening services. I'm gonna take a narrow long brush to start, and I took off just a little bit of where her hairline is here, so I'm taking about 1/4 of a section. I still want that subtle lift, but when she does pull her hair all the way up, I don't want to necessarily have that hard line right into the back of her nape. You want to saturate your tip of your brush and start in the areas that you want to see most of that lightness start to begin. So we're gonna go up a little bit higher in this general area just to help with that blend and that soft subtleness. This lightener is going to stay out and have that out of foil lift. You don't need foils with this specific product. And you want to ensure that you completely saturate that top layer and not take too much over blending time on your guest. Once the line is there, it is there. We're just going to drop that section here. So I'm going to start doing different diagonal patterns to mimic a little bit of light reflection in a softer, more natural way. Kind of almost mimics a soccer ball pattern. Taking that 1/4 to 1/2 sectioning there and clipping it out of the way. I'm not doing any back combing. I just don't see it necessary for this specific lift that we're looking for, and she already has so much pull through, kind of a more of a soft, subtle balayage to ombre style. So we're going to kind of do a little opposite there. Once again, I'm not going to take it all the way through the ends because the ends are already at that nice 8 to 9 level. They don't need a lot of lifting time. So as you can see, with fine, clean sections, you're just going to continue going up that head in diagonal patterns. So this one's a little too horizontal for me. I'm going to break it up a little bit more to make it soft. Flip your section out of your way. So you can see this area that we've brought up a little bit more of the lightness and brought it in a little bit closer into the center back here. So now we're going to do more of a V pattern. So we're just mimicking natural light patterns to help kind of cover the entire surface, but still having that nice softness and movability in her stationary sections. Keep letting those sections rest as the clay lightener does its work. That outer layer will start to harden, but internally and in between everything, it's going to continue its lightening process. So once you finish both of these back panels on the back of your guest, we're going to start moving towards the crown area and where the hair parting and her swirl is starting to form. So we took more of a diamond section to give off and mimic a little bit more of a natural fall of her lighting bits. So now I am going to take a horizontal section because of where her swirl is going to be a lot softer and end up parting and falling in a different way. So I'm going to take this heavy section and I'm going to lighten a majority of that piece, because where Colleen likes to put up her hair is going to show more of this back alternated section. So a strong W in these lines. So once again, I'm not fully saturating this section all the way through. I'm really just touching the surface of the section that I am pinching and keeping at more of a V section. So as I pull that down, you can see that nothing is being lightened on that underneath. So she has her little bit of cascading here of lightness for her movement, and then this section's gonna overlayer being in the middle of her head to give off that flow without looking like a dark hole. And we're gonna speed things up again. That we have finished our entire back panel, we are going to move up to our front areas before we start reaching up her top. And she already has a pretty high blend in through here, but a couple little more dark spots that we're going to start bringing up and brightening on Colleen. So I'm going to start off with a diagonal back section, which is starting to bring back into that soccer ball type pattern. And just becoming repetitive. You're going to check where your lightness is coming through. Now remember, if you're going to take a diagonal back section, you're going to have a lot more of your width of your hair in your section coming from the ear back, and this is going to be a lot lighter. So if you're going to go in with your saturated brush, you're going to want to start more so in this area with your full impact of how much lightener you have. For what we're achieving today as her end result, you don't want to go too heavy with that line up through this area because you have less hair here. So we're just going to drop that section out. And start brightening up the whole area on that surface. Now coming up on our section here, we're going to take a diagonal back section. So now taking that diagonal back section, you're going to have more width in the front and less of that width of that section in the back. So when you go with your fully saturated brush, you're going to apply your lightener closer to the area that has more of that section so it doesn't saturate all the way through. Colleen is a natural level 6 with a little bit of a warm undertone to begin with. So the higher I bring this lightener and softened and diffusing any type of lines of demarcation is going to be a really nice subtle transition. So earlier we did a full freehand balayage technique with our new Wella Blonde or Free Lights lightener. So this is my lovely guest Colleen. And so now you can see the transition and the soft blending that we did to kind of start breaking up her original grown out balayage and be able to clean her canvas before we apply our semi-permanents that we're going to be also using on her today. So her inspiration is a lovely peach, more coral pink, something soft, something very blush tone. So as it fades, it gives her more of a champagne-y hue and be able to complement her skin tone as well as fade, very natural, very soft. She can refresh it at home with some of our semi-permanents that we retail at Ulta as well, that we've had a little bit of a talk about. I just recently rinsed her with Extreme Shampoo and Conditioner, which is a really great protein and moisture balance based shampoo and conditioner provided by Redken. And then blow dry her without any product because we want to still keep her base to ends and everywhere we lighten in between being available to accept the semi a little bit further without any type of oil or spray blocking anything that was needed there. So I'm going to show a little bit more of how she came out. This is her back area. Earlier in the video, when explaining when I was balayaging her, she likes to put her hair halfway up, so I wanted to bring some more of that lightness through here when she wears it down and in her natural wave texture, but also build up some depth and a little bit more blending in through here so she doesn't feel like she has such a dark hole. All right, so let's get started. Right now we are using a starfish coral, 1 ounce to bubblegum pink, 1 ounce to sparkling rosé, 1 ounce in our So Color Cult semi-dip permanent and demi line by Matrix. So as you can see, I'm not spending a lot of time on each section as I maneuver it through. I'm just keeping consistent saturation and just going through each diagonal back slice. Half of what we're going to do with the other 2 bowls of color that I have. So another tip that I want to give when it comes to using semis is you have to get this end saturated. Best end result is going to be on dry hair without having to worry about water being a barrier to your formula, as well as assessing your level. We're now going to be we're going to start in our back nape section here. Just soft diagonal partings to keep that softness and that flow. And we're going to begin placing our starfish coral with our bubblegum pink, our more darker vivid that we have. We're going to saturate it on that end. Keep on blending it up. And we're just going to melt those 2 together. We're now going to take our next following section and we are going to drop and marry that section into our previous and use our sparkling rosé with our bubblegum pink on top. And now we're going to keep blending the 2. Really ensure that you're having fine sectioning when you're doing this to get proper saturation and consistent results. And this is our finished processing results, and optimal processing time is going to be about 25 minutes. This color doesn't necessarily oxidize, so you don't need too much of a set time on it, but it's between 20 to 30 minutes. So we're going to leave this on for 25. Rinse, blow dry, and I will show you the finished result. So after our full balayage technique and spokes placement, this is our final result. Super shiny, healthy, luminous hair. Really multi-dimensional. So she has multiple tones translating in every single panel and layering. She's got blush pink, she's got champagnes, she has a few more neon-y peaches, a little more of that coral peeking through. And there you have it. Lots of work today with amazing results. Worth every second. So this would require every 3 to 4 week touch-up of a glossing service here at Ulta, or a multi-tonal surface depending on the amount of color that's going to be used in a certain look or technique, with our So Color Cult semis. And thanks for watching.